Ladies, gentlemen, did I get everyone? I recently celebrated my 67th birthday with a big bowl of oatmeal and fresh prunes, fresh prunes. I am full retirement age. I am retired. I am collecting Social Security. I'm on Medicare. And I'm old enough to be a grandfather. And in some states, even a great-grandfather. In this modern day age of self-proclaimed entitlement, I proclaim that because of my age, I am entitled to speak my opinion to anybody, at any time, at any place. Gosh darn it. In this speech, I wanted to share with you 3 pearls of wisdom. I have a lot more, but I have time only for 3 that I have learned over the years. Now, I have been 30, 40, and 50 years old, but most of you have never been 67. It is not that important that you agree or disagree with my pearls of wisdom, but what is important that you understand the underlying rationale, the logic that led me to those conclusions. For example, great ideas and great inventions often are slight tweaks to good ideas and good inventions. For example, hamburger, cheeseburger. Hamburger, cheeseburger. That one slice of cheese makes a world of difference. So the Earl of Sandwich invented the sandwich. Somebody from Hamburg invented the hamburger. Whoever invented the cheeseburger needs to get a Nobel Prize. And if you had pickles, onions, lettuce, and tomatoes and on a sesame seed bun, I'm loving it. Pearl number 1, life is like a tractor pull. Now, for those of you who haven't enjoyed the excitement of a tractor pull, please, let me explain. A tractor pull is a contest, usually at a state fair, Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, in which a tractor pulls a large wedge sled. And as the tractor moves forward, this sled wedge digs further and further into the ground, and eventually the tractor stops. That's a tractor pull. And these tractors are huge, huge. They sometimes have 2 or 3 engines, and they generate over 1,000 horsepower, and they still stop. And the reason why life is like a tractor pull is that as you go through life, the problems become more difficult. For example, in my 20s and 30s, I had easy problems. Flat tire, leaky roof, laid off, got a job, simple problems, I could solve them. In my 40s and 50s, my 2 parents eventually had cancer, Alzheimer's, heart disease, Parkinson's, and my uncle had a stroke. I survived, but they didn't. In my immediate family, I had very serious problems. My family members had very serious problems with similar results. From all of this, I realized that I am mortal. Someday it will be my turn in the barrel, metaphorically speaking, of course. So the reason why life is like a tractor pull is because as you go through life, the problems get harder and harder. And when you do not solve the last problem, you die. That's it. Game over, man. Game over. Alien, 1985. Thank you. The moral to this story is make the most of your life because you have only one life to live. Now with all due respect, if you believe in reincarnation, then check with your spiritual advisor. If you believe in reincarceration, check with O.J. Simpson. Pearl number 2, and I heard this one over 40 years ago. At some point in your life, everybody needs to start a restaurant. You learn customer service firsthand, you see the value of $1, and you work hard for that $1. Now, let's expand that. Zig Ziglar said, you can get what you want out of life if you help enough other people get what they want. If they want cheeseburgers and you serve cheeseburgers, you're in business. Now, it may not be a restaurant, it could be a business in general, or it could be something else, some big, lofty, audacious goal that you want out of life. You may want to run for Congress. You may want to do a job that is your passion, but pays less. It's up to you. Now, most of you might be afraid of failing, and that's okay. Fear is great. Fear is a good motivator. In fact, there's two ways to fail. One is do your absolute best and fail, and the other way is don't even try at all. So if you don't even try at all, you failed already. So a common table topic question is, what do you want written on your tombstone? Well, that's too late. And a better question is, as you lay on your deathbed, are you satisfied? Are you satisfied with what you have accomplished in life? Pearl of wisdom number 3, dig a French drain. Now, a French drain is a pipe about a foot under the ground that drains water off your property. And I dug a French drain, 2 of them, in fact, 40 foot in the front yard, 90 feet in the backyard, 5 tons of rocks 4 years ago in July and August in Florida at age 63. Now, I don't know if I'm confessing or bragging, but being a computer programmer for all my career, I have never worked hard. Computer programming was easy, it was fun. Even though I may have worked 50 or 60 hours per week, it was fun. However, digging a French drain was exhausting, and I loved every minute of it. So the moral here is, there's something to be said about being filthy, dirty, scummy, ugly, sweaty. And what it is sweat stinks, but your own sweat feels great. So in conclusion, let me retranslate the main points into what you might understand. So instead of life as a tractor pull, think of today is the last day of your life so far. Instead of starting a restaurant or business, use fear to drive you to success. And instead of digging a French drain, sweat stinks, but your own sweat feels great. Mr. Toastmaster.
Good evening, everyone, and especially you, Rico. Rico is a very difficult person to evaluate. When you think you really have gotten to know him, that he's dead serious, he comes up with a very humorous presentation that actually has a punchline, or maybe it's just a punch, but there's something very powerful about your speech tonight. My opinion is just my opinion. So my evaluation for those of you is just one person's view. And I would have had to pay attention if I was going to get a really good evaluation here. And I was in La La Land because every story that you told about the tractor pull or the French drain, I forgot what the middle thing was, but each of your stories you had a way of personalizing them. You had a way of tying it into your own personal life experience, which makes for a very, very powerful presentation. Gems of wisdom is a very generalized idea, but you had a way of zeroing in on 3 basic factors that really carried home who you are and what you've learned, things in your life. You found a way to share your life experience with your taking care of your parents who went through a series of declining situations that would have been horrendous if there was just one of them, let alone 2 parents, let alone 3 or 4 different episodes. So my heart goes out to you for the effort that you've made to be the human being that you've become. When you give an evaluation, it's always good to be able to come up with something useful that can help the person who gave the speech give a better speech. And you're really challenging me with that because your timing was really good. Your speech craft was excellent. Your ability to get the audience involved in what you're saying. Your gestures were good. Like me, you probably needed to clear your throat. But all in all, it was a very well-delivered, well-timed, thoughtful presentation that really made us learn more about you probably than you intended, but nonetheless to come away really liking you more than before. So please keep up the good work. The one thing that you might be able to do to make the speech a little bit better, there must be one thing out there. It will come to me and I'll share it with you.